What up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. Show. As you know, I am Brandon, like always, on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow, Show, social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau, uh, Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow, Show, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Show. Go follow me on all those social media platforms. Shout out to all the new TikTok people that have been commenting, liking the vids. Appreciate you. Shout out to all the people that's been watching on Instagram and Facebook. I gotta get back to clipping and posting stuff on there. I've been lazy on that, so hopefully I get back to doing that a little bit more. This episode definitely probably gonna get that attraction. So yeah. But really, where you gonna go is my YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show. Man, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show. Yeah, I hope you guys clips. I got clips there. I got shorts, vids, everything, man. Comment. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Appreciate you guys uh, for subscribing, commenting. Appreciate it. Helps in the algorithm if you like and share and comment in the videos and everything. So I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, thank you for all the support. Love, appreciate you. This is the first, but it won't damn sure be the last of this season. This is technically the start of season 3 of my podcast series, Bleed Black and Gold. I started this series a couple years ago, talking about my New Orleans Saints. The draft just happened for the Saints. Um, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here to talk about it. I might have a guest later on in the show. But I wanted to start this show off, talk about the Saints. A lot has happened since the last time I done Bleed Black and Gold. I mean, um, we needed to find a new head coach, and we did. And Kellen Moore. The last I think episode I did with Bleed Black and Gold, I literally said that I do not see the Saints having a great season this upcoming season. I felt like we were going to be the fourth best team this upcoming season. The the cap space that we had was negative again. Um, so my expectations for the Saints coming into the 2025-2026 season was dead on arrival. Didn't think the coaching job. I thought we had the last real good coaching job. By the way, we were the last team to hire a head coach. So fucking surprise there. Um, yeah, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised that the Saints off season went the way it went. You had Derek Carr, which I'm going to talk about in this game today. Derek Carr literally said, I'm not taking a pay cut. And then he came back and was like, oh, I'm going to take a pay cut. Okay. And then he somehow, some way, whoever did this, came out of nowhere and said, oh, Derek Carr has a shoulder injury. What, a week? A week or two before the draft? So you're pretty much blowing our draft plans out of the water because now people are now looking at us and saying we have to take a quarterback because we don't know if our starting quarterback is actually going to be able to fucking play this year. So thank you to whoever unanimous source that put that out there that Derek Carr had a shoulder injury. Who the fuck told you that? I wonder who. But the Saints was not going to be great in this upcoming season. The 2025-2026 season, I wasn't too gassed about it. I'm like, we're gonna have a bad season. And there was nothing about this season that I felt like we were walking into or we're gonna be the best team in the NFC South. Nah. Um, like I said, the last couple of years, I stopped getting my hopes up for the Saints. There's been years where we've had the better roster in the NFC South, and we just shit the bed. Just shit the bed. It wasn't anything the players can really do. The coaching staff sucked. It was just It was bad, man. It was bad. Last year was just the tip of the iceberg. It was done. It was the Titanic. You know, once you hit the iceberg, it was fucking over. It was done. Everybody overboard. Save who you can save and get the fuck out of Dodge. It was that. It was that. I feel like the Saints last year showed everybody just who we were. I felt like we were coming into a rebuild. We traded Marshawn Lattimore. There was a lot of pieces that could have been traded or moved during the offseason. I really actually would have hoped they would have moved them during the offseason. But we kept certain people that I didn't understand why we kept them. You got Demario Davis still there. You got Cam Jordan still there. You're just like, I guess Tyrann Mathieu re-signed. It was just like, what the fuck are we doing? And you're just sitting there like, okay, what the fuck is the plan? And I was just trying to figure that out. What is the plan? My brother Juan reminded me of this, so thank you, Juan. Appreciate you. That he reminded me that Brandon Staley is our defensive coordinator. I completely fucking forgot because that's something I blocked the fuck out of my mind because I forgot that Brandon Staley was our fucking defensive coordinator. The man that literally sunk the Chargers defense. This man had Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. Look at Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Dorian James, Asante Samuel Jr., uh, 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 Keith Murray Jr., the linebacker, Kenneth Murray Jr., the linebacker, who's now I think with Tennessee or maybe left Tennessee, had a great year last year in Tennessee. Like this motherfucker had all of those pieces on that defense and gave up a 28-0 lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars in a playoff game. The same defensive coordinator, head coach, that literally sat there and said, the reason why I called a timeout in a game where all you had to do was take an overtime and just go and just take all you had to do was take a tie because you were dead set in the playoffs. All you had to do was just take a tie. And he said, I called a timeout because I wanted to put my running defense, my best running defense on the field. And then Josh Jacobs proceeded to run the ball on a 3rd and 7 and proceeded to get 12 yards. Proceeded to get 12 fucking yards. That is our defensive coordinator now, ladies and gentlemen, New Orleans. That is our fucking defensive coordinator. Yes, that's the damn defensive coordinator. Kellen Moore. Now, I get it. Kellen Moore probably felt like he owed them one. I get it. Kellen Moore felt like he owed them one. Because Kellen Moore, when he left Dallas, the year that he left Dallas, the team wasn't great. It wasn't. The offense wasn't great. It was all right. And people thought he would get a coaching job, a head coaching job. He didn't. He went and got an offensive coordinator job again. Went to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I don't blame this on him. Justin Herbert was banged up again in his career. He was hurt. And you couldn't really do shit with that offense. So I don't really blame Kellen Moore for the Chargers. But Kellen Moore is coming off of a season where he was the offensive coordinator into a lot of people's. I mean, yes, we credit Jalen Hurts and we credit Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert and that offensive line and getting Saquon Barkley. Damn sure doesn't hurt. But we credit a lot of that shit on, the offense and the team that the Eagles already was. They were already a good team. Hold on. Let's see. All right, folks. Let's see. Hold on. Your speaker. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Hold on. It's connected. Huh?
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. What's up, B? What's popping, man? What's popping?
What's up, Rick?
Man, I'm cool, man. I'm chilling.
Hold
What's up?
on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is literally my big brother. Literally, y'all can see it in our facial features.
Right.
It's literally my big brother.
Right.
This is my big brother Rickey.
Well, what's up? What's popping, B?
It was good, big bro.
Chilling, dog. Chilling, chilling.
I'm just telling everybody about the Saints. Just running down how I do not have faith in this fucking team coming into the season. I told everybody this shit at the end of last year that I did not have faith coming into the season. 2025, 2026 season, I thought it was gonna be the last best team, the last team in the NFC South. I'm going down how Kellen Moore felt like he probably owed Brandon Staley a fucking job because he gave him a job when he left Dallas.
Yeah,
Brandon Staley, our new defensive coordinator, who literally gave up a 28-point lead to fucking Trevor Lawrence.
right, right.
The same Brandon Staley who called a timeout when all he had to do was take a fucking tie in the overtime with the Raiders and proceeded to give up a fucking 12-yard run to Josh Jacobs because
And
he
in
said
in his
he
in
wanted.
his in his 3-4 scheme that he loves.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that dude that couldn't even be a defensive coordinator for San Francisco last year. It was like, we'll hire you, but we don't want you to be nowhere near the defense. Like you're an assistant, nigga. Yeah, that dude. He's now the defensive
yeah,
coordinator
yeah.
of our New Orleans Saints. Yeah, that's insane.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I wasn't really high on the Kellen Moore, like like I wasn't really high on the when we hired him. To be honest with you, I feel like he was kind of a kind of like a here nigga, fuck, goddamn, hire you, like you know what I'm saying, like to be honest, bro, like you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna be honest with you. For what he doing for the team, I, we could have kept Dan Rizzi, man. To be honest with you, like
Ooh. Mm. I,
like
I feel you. I
at
feel you.
least the at least the players like Dan Rizzi. I
Yeah,
don't I don't know I don't know how Kamara and them gonna respond to this dude, bro. He
yeah.
young, he young. And I'm gonna tell you this: what I don't like about him, and what I came in is he already kind of so he drunk the Kool Aid with Mickey Loomis, right?
Mm.
Mickey Loomis has this thing where he didn't want nobody in there. So let's be all right. So Kellen Moore was what, the sixth head coach option, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. So Mickey Loomis, right? What's his name? Dallas Cowboys coach,
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy. McCarthy was ready to come and sit down with us, and he decided he don't want to go back into coaching, right? Who
Hmm.
else? Ben Johnson said, "Don't even call my fucking phone." Right? Uh, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn met with the team. Aaron Glenn told him straight up he would love to coach you if they got rid of Mickey Loomis. So that was a scrap, right? We went through all these Liam Cohen and those guys, bro, like people that we went through. So all right, finally we hired Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was not sold on Derek Carr. He told him straight up he wanted his own quarterback option, right? He's never been sold on Derek Carr. Making Loomis go corrose the guy, get him to sit down with him. Hey man, look, I'll pay you this amount of money, but we want Derek Carr over here, right? Derek Carr's our guy. I want him. Now all of a sudden, Kellen Moore believe in Derek Carr. He could be the starter. I just don't respect the no backbone shit, dog. Like I and the thing with like man, this reports came out on Airline, man. You had you know people on the team parking in like staffs and assistants parking spots and everything, dog. Like it's no structure on airline, dog, and it trickles down. Think about this: when we got Kelvin Banks, you seen every other room. These coaches was excited. Look at our room when Kelvin Banks was drafted number ninth in the first round, right? The room was fucking stale, bro. You ain't see no smiles, no nothing, right? Because there's conflict in the front office, right? So you got Mickey Loomis on one side, then you got Jeff Island. Jeff Island wanted to go with Jalen Walker edge, right? We go Kelvin Banks, which don't get me wrong, man. I think Kelvin Banks could solidify and be actually a decent tackle, right? I think he solidifies the line, right?
Hmm.
The problem I'm in, and I told you this because me and you got into, we fussed for about 20 minutes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you like, man, we needed him. That's not the problem, right? I don't feel like we necessarily had to go offensive tackle first round, especially ninth, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved to go edge. I would even love to go Conan. I would have loved something, man. Just think about this. Think about this. We do every year O line, O line. We've been putting so much money in the O line since 17, right? We
Hmm.
put so much money. All these first rounders, Penning a bust, right? The trenches period on both sides, right? Penning a bust. Cesar Ruiz, he's barely serviceable, barely like he barely serviceable, right? Eric McCoy, but Eric McCoy is different, right? We hit on Fluwaga. We finally hit on Fluwaga, but oh, this team got so much other shit we need to address. Dog. The linebackers of this we probably got the slowest linebacker core in the league, right? Which I like that. I like the kid from where's he from? Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
And
Oklahoma.
at
Yep.
first I thought we drafted P1 or 2.0, but it now say white chocolate got some burners, bro. He fast. Hey, he fast. I said that
Yeah.
ball hawking Jalen Miro down. I'm sold on him. And that's what we need, bro. The defense. We got the slowest defense. But like,
Hmm.
just to recap the draft, bro, like I just feel like you take a Tyler Warren with that ninth pick. Like, I feel like you take a I was cool with T Mac. Like I like T Mac, man. But Carolina
Yeah.
jumped in front of us, right?
Yeah. I was the same. I was like, if he fall to
I
nine, I
just
wouldn't mind
felt
getting
like
him.
I just felt like it was so much. And like people said, man, we didn't have to go. See, the Saints were so bad at developing talent. We have to go and find talent that's pretty much already developed.
Hmm.
Think about that. Why do we
Yeah.
have to? Jari Evans, Stitchcomb, all these phenomenal Hall of Fame tackles we had, man. Guess what? 7 rounders, 5th rounders, 3rd rounders, right? Armstead was a 3rd rounder, man. Why do we have to go in? Because we can't develop we can't develop anything, to be honest with you. So we actually have to go find a flu. We didn't develop Fluwaga, man. Fluwaga came in the way he is. But that shows you that we don't have any development on that line, man. We don't have someone that could go in there and develop people. Because that's why we have to go and find a player that's pretty much already developed and we'll just plug them in. That says a lot about our program, right? You see the Eagles. The Eagles got 7 rounders, 5th rounders, 3rd rounders, everybody on their line, right? And that
Yeah.
line's stout. You know why? Because they got the people in the staff in place to fucking train those people, dog. We don't. You know, and people like, man, you get so worked up. I'm like, man, this shit in me, man. Like, man, we grew up 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from the Superdome, bro. Like,
Yeah.
this shit
Yeah.
in us. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd have suffered with this fucking team, man. I went through the Jeff Blake, the Aaron Brook
Oh,
days.
good God Almighty. Yo.
You know, I went through them days, bro. Like, I went through them days, dog. Oh, when we do a fucking flea flicker for almost 100 yards and fucking John Carney go miss the
Yeah, missed
extra
that
point
bitch. That
to
make the
miss the
fuck.
playoffs, dog. Like, I've been through that shit with this team, so I got the right to fucking critique them. If you don't like it, fuck you. I got the right to
Oh
critique these
my
bitches. I
God,
can say what
yo.
I want to
Yeah,
about,
man. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, like I said, but come on, man, let's get it going, man. You know, I just had to get,
Nah,
vent a little bit, but
nah,
let's get it going. How long we going for, B? How long we going for?
it depends on you, bro. I mean, listen, man.
All right, cool, 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 cool. We
Yeah,
can go for a little while.
yeah. I know what you're saying, and you speak for most of the Saints fans that are on social media and that was really like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Like, yo, we drafted another fucking offensive lineman. What the fuck are we doing? Me personally, and this is what I said to you Friday when we talked. I said I would have traded out the ninth pick. I said this shit when we were doing a the pre-draft show with me and my brother Juan. And we were on there and we were talking. I said, man, if I was the Saints, I would take the Texans trade that everybody was saying on social media. I would have took that trade. I would have jumped out the ninth pick because when you're in the top 10, 15 range, people want a name. They want a name. They don't want a position. They want a name. So when you're in that top 10 range, They want a fucking name. They don't give a fuck about the position. They want a name.
Right.
So when if you would have jumped out that spot, me personally, I wanted a kid from North Dakota State, a dude that could play all 5 positions. It don't matter what the fuck he is on that offensive line, he can play. He can plug it. That's why when Seattle took him, I said, "You son of a bitch." I said, "You son of a bitch," because
But
he was.
what is Seattle known for? I've never seen Seattle with no major offensive line issue
They're not good.
ever.
Yeah, but no, Seattle's had some fucking bad offensive lines. Don't get it twisted, man.
What I'm
That's why
talking
Russell
about
Wilson.
is
That's why Russell Wilson left, because that offensive line was not fixed.
well,
It just
all right. I take that back. You're right. I go with you on that one. I go
yeah.
with you
So,
on that one.
but when people sit there and say like, I get it. But like I said, I took Calvin Banks when we did the Mar Draft show. I took him second for Cleveland. So I already know Calvin Banks could fucking play. Yes, this injury was this draft injury riddled. This whole draft was injury riddled. This whole draft. This is why this draft was not particularly high on high talent people. Like if you could take somebody, take them.
Okay.
But this
So
draft was not supposed to be a really huge. Like next year might be more of the okay. You could draft them and they could play right the fuck away draft. Like these dudes are fucking talented.
so I have a
This
question. I have a question
go ahead.
because somebody said it. I watched the Saints Block Party podcast and
Mm-hmm.
they said, man, they said Ryan and Adam, they said the Saints we have the most boring roster in football. They said we the new Tennessee Titans. And I start going through the roster, man. I'm like, the fuck? Dog, we have no star power on our team.
Here's the thing. What Tennessee are they talking about? You talk about the Tennessee a couple years ago that was the number one seed in the AFC. We talking about the Tennessee a couple years ago was the number one, the team that went to the AFC Championship game against
Well, we're
Kansas
not talking
City.
about that. We're talking about this team getting people in the stadium and putting asses in the seats, right? We talking
But but
about, but
but
no,
again,
hold
like
on, Brandon. But
okay, go
listen,
ahead.
so this is what I'm saying, right? Man, if you look at every team in the draft, they got better on offense somehow, some way. Pretty much every
True,
team.
true.
We, what, Neil, I like that pick, man. I told you, I love that pick.
No, yeah.
But so what? Who's our big possession receiver? That big body receiver. Think about it. Olave's injury prone. Love him to death, man. Love him. I think he's a great player. But to be honest with you, with the injuries, Olave has not lived up to that first round. He's lived up to second, third round, but he's not lived up. And I try. I don't want to sound like an asshole because the man had what 4 concussions. That's a lot, right? Rashid Shaheed, man, Shaheed, my boy, man. But
Mm-hmm.
Rashid, think about contested catches. He don't catch well when it's contested. Rashid
Mm-hmm.
is that guy. If I could, you put this bitch 10 yards in front of me, I'm gonna get this bitch right.
Mm-hmm.
But that contested catch, like Michael Thomas, I bro, it was a. I feel like it was a 70% chance if you threw that bitch up to Michael Thomas, he was coming down with it, dog. Right? It was rare. We seen the cornerback lock up Michael Thomas, and we seen them give everybody the blues, right? Right? Who do we have on the team like that right now? You go get Cooks. Cooks got just as many concussions as fucking Chris Olave, and another injury-prone receiver. Saints is like Saints is the dude that get cheated on by the freaky girl in high school, and they go off and marry the motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they go off and marry the slut that. That's what the fuck the Saints are, bro. We married to the sluts. They leave us and then they come back when they ready to settle down and we take them back with open arms. That's what the fuck we are, bro. That's a stupid ass argument, man. But
Yeah.
anywho,
Yeah. Listen, I mean, listen. Do we have anybody in the receiving room that we trust? Fuck no. I don't trust a goddamn soul in the receiving room. Chris Olave is healthy. Rashid Shaheed is healthy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got something. But it means he's something. He got something. But where is he gonna be placed on when this Brandon Cook shit coming around? We can go get to me personally, we could go get a Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper who's still sitting out there. But do you want an older as veteran that also is very injury prone and probably can't really do what the fuck they used to be able to
I'm
do?
good. I'm good on the 30 plus receivers, the prima
It,
donnas.
and that's what a problem kicks in. Is like what do we do with the receiving core? Because the receiving core is where it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, for 2 games, the shit looked great last
But
year.
Brandon, all right. So listen, real quick. All right, we're gonna go on. We're gonna go to cornerbacks, right?
All right.
I'm just about to give you an example of why I'm pissed off at the team.
Okay.
Cornerbacks, right? You
All
got
right.
Rico Payton, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got Kool-Aid McKinstry, you got Alante Taylor, and then you just got this kid Riley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Alante Taylor showed that he struggles outside, right? Last season. I love him. I think he is one of the most talented athletic defensive backs we have on the team, right? But he struggled outside, right? Was it the scheme? Who knows? But he struggled man to man. I'm talking about struggle bad, right? I like
Yeah.
Alante in the nickel. I love him in the nickel. Fuck's gonna play outside? Is Riley that guy where we just gonna plug him in and he's gonna play outside? The problem I have with the Saints is we don't draft off of, we know that we draft off of potential, right? Oh, this guy could potentially be this, right? That's what Penning. We fucking gave up a first rounder, right? And who did that turn out to be? That was Jalen Carter. The Eagles got off that pick. Carter, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got two. We had 2 picks in that draft.
Right. But what I'm
One.
saying is, who the fuck scouted Penny? Who went out there and said, hey man, this motherfucker got 2 left feet, but I know he could.
They
That's
do
what
got two
I'm
left feet.
talking about, though, bro.
That
That's
nigga
what
two
I'm
left feet.
saying, bro. As
That nigga
think
definitely
about
got
the
two
all
left
right, so
feet.
we're gonna move to safety, right? Tyron. Home, you know, Tyron grandma used to stay down the street from us in Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I remember his mom and Tyra used to sit on the porch. Like, for real, right? He lost his step, dog. In a habit, man. Tony Badger, you young, he what, 33? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
something
saying?
like
He
that.
lost
Yeah.
his step. And Tyron's not the most physical, right? He uses his IQ. He's not a
Mm-hmm.
physical free safety, right? So some of this, you know, prime example, I don't know if that was Leggett. It's a big body receiver from Carolina. I can't think his name. He got out of his way. Like he wasn't trying to make that contact. We don't need that, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring in Justin Reed, right? You bring in Reed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now Reed, you gotta run, like you said, you gotta run down that hallway. Super strong safety. Me personally, I like the dude, what's the guy from last year, the strong safety. He ended up going, I think he went to the Giants. What's his name?
Xavier McKinney.
No, be the no, the safety that was on the team last year, man. He was bringing that hat. Damn, what's his name, man? And it's right off of my. I actually looked at it.
Will Harris.
Will Harris, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Physical, man. Coming down, bringing the hat, and guess what we do? Let him go. This is how. This the shit I'm talking about. You have Zach Bond on the team for 4 years, and you discover the last 5 games of the season that this man, hey man, this man is actually pretty good in pass rush. This man's a fucking all pro this year, Brandon.
Yeah.
Right? Not a Pro
But the thing,
Bowler, a all pro.
oh, don't get me started with the Saints' dumbass decisions. I mean, fuck, Trey Henderson has led the league in fucking sacks. He led the league in sacks when he was
But you
with us.
kept Cam Jordan. But you can't
Not just Cam Jordan, nigga. You kept Marcus Davenport. The fuck was you
Davenport. You two first.
thinking?
They call that motherfucker 2 first. We gave a 2 first. Come on, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. We
Oh,
the
don't
only
get me.
team I know.
Oh.
We'll go look up an edge at ICDC College. Just bring them. Oh,
Motherfucker get
Delgado Community College got an edge. All right, yeah, we want to bring them in. Nobody know about this talent. The fuck out of here, man. I'm sick of this fucking team, bro. I'm not letting them stress me out this year, bro. But so let's keep going on with the roster though, Brandon. Come on.
the University of New Orleans got a fucking linebacker. Nigga, what?
That's what I'm saying.
Nigga, what? What you just said?
Yeah, they say he ran a 4.3 in the 40. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna sit up here and act like these niggas don't draft the nose.
All right, so let's go to linebackers, right? P. Warner. You extend P. Warner. Atrocious. That shit was atrocious. What the fuck has P. Warner done for you to extend him? Right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
He's injury prone. He can't stay
he's
on the
injury
field.
prone.
He
Yeah,
can't stay on the field. What has he done for us to extend him? I
right.
love the Mario, but dog, it's been time to find. You gotta find, bro. You bring in. Think about this, dog. And I gave people the fucking perfect example, bro. You know why the Green Bay Packers has so much success? Because they are not scared to go find the predecessor, right?
Yeah,
While you playing and you going, they're already developing the guy behind you, right?
yeah,
And that's why
yeah,
they, from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, right? And they
yeah,
bring them in and they let them sit.
yeah,
Why the fuck did we not address the predecessor for Drew Brees? And we wouldn't even be in this fucking situation. That's what I'm telling you. Mickey Loomis is a right now GM. He has no plans for the future. And that's the reason why we keep kicking the can down the road with the fucking salary cap and everything, man. So until Mickey Loomis is gone, this team is fucking doomed, bro. Same thing with Jerry in Dallas. They'll never, and Dallas actually had a talented roster that Jerry arrogance kind of broke up, man, right? But
yeah,
it's the same thing, man. We'll never develop until Mickey Loomis is gone, man. Hate to say it. There's no structure on airline. Look at the running back room. Alvin Kamara, right?
yeah,
Clyde Edwards Hilaire. Which I actually like Clyde Edwards Hilaire, right?
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not a, but he's a more of a elusive guy. He ain't no down for down back. He's too small.
He
Kendrick,
could be a Darius Sproles, kind of.
Kendrick, Kendrick Miller, man. I think the dude is super talented. Honestly,
Yeah,
this month, this motherfucker step on a hot sausage sandwich and be out for six months.
hit the wrong shit at Manchu and be done.
I mean, I'm telling you, that nigga get food poisoning and be out and be on and he on fucking injury reserve for 4 weeks. That's what I'm saying, man. This team, but I'm telling you, B, what superstar name besides Elvin Kamara have I named yet? A superstar. We don't have one at linebacker. We don't have one at fucking cornerback. What superstar have I named? Olave good. He a star. He's not a superstar. He's a serviceable wide receiver right now. I think he could be, a star. I don't think he's a superstar. Right?
Yeah,
Let's move to defensive line. That was one of the most atrocious positions last year. It was fucking atrocious. I knew, bro, we had running backs that ain't fucking never had 100 yards in a 7-year career, gashing us for 120, 130, bro. Oh, and get him the fuck out of my face. Get Bink the fuck out of Bink,
yeah. Big was
man. Get Bink the fuck running in
fair.
places, big stupid ass.
Yeah, listen, man. The Saints. Listen, we going on about the Saints being just a terrible fucking situation. They created this shit for themselves. They created this whole problem for
Well, no,
themselves.
what I'm talking to you about is depth, like just depth,
Yeah,
like
we created this problem for ourselves because we maybe paid a little bit. Like I've always said, we paid motherfuckers what they used to be and not what they are. And this is something that the Saints have done tremendously the last couple of years. There's no way in hell you about to tell me that. And I said this shit last year. If I was the Saints, I would have traded Mario Davis. I would have traded Cam
absolutely,
Jordan. I would have
absolutely.
traded. I would have traded. I would have traded and just said, "Fuck it, rebuild." We cannot do this shit every fucking year.
So let me ask you a question. So like what I'm talking about is just us drafting as a whole, though, right?
All right.
Isaiah Foskey has barely. What does what the fuck does Foskey do? At this point, this nigga's the water boy, bro. Like what the fuck, right?
yo,
Brazil
yo,
was a Brazil is. I think Brazil could develop, right?
yeah, Brazil's
What
good
about
though.
Christian Boyd?
Well, Rick, he got drafted literally last year. You gotta get that man a year, like another year, bro. He got
But
drafted
what I'm
literally
saying
last
is
year.
the man barely touched the field.
But that's on who the fuck was the coaching staff last year.
There's no developmental
But again,
structure.
but again, that's on the coaching staff last year. That's Dennis
Okay.
Allen.
But you gotta remember this too, Brandon. I just said Zach Bond was on the team 4 years. When do we
And who was the defensive coordinator for 4 years before he
I,
became the
I
head coach?
but that's what I'm all right. So look, so then you got I love Granderson, but Granderson took a step back last year.
Curtis Granderson? Oh hell yeah. He got paid and then he took that step back.
As they always do, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like I said, Brazil was one of the spotlights on defense last year. He was what he
Yeah,
had 7.5 sacks.
something
That's
like that.
decent.
Yeah.
That's serviceable, right?
For defensive tackle, that's fucking damn near impossible.
That's serviceable. That's really
Yeah,
good, right? Chase Young was 7 impressions, but I think he had what 6 sacks.
something like that. Yeah. And we paid him money to keep him.
So we're gonna move the offense, right? So you got Taysom. Taysom, 35 years old, and he coming off a atrocious knee injury, right?
hmm
What do you do with Taysom? You tied into him for $10 million.
Trade his ass to Sean Payton and see what the fuck you can get.
All right. So you got Derek Carr. Derek Carr, your quarterback. You paying him $40 million. Do you know this arrogant motherfucker had the nerve to go in there and ask for a $10 million raise, and that's the reason why his shoulders hurt because we wouldn't give him $10 million more. But that's him not wanting to be here, right? That's him going for and ask for something outrageous, and hopefully Mickey's just like, nah, we ain't doing that, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
That's what that was. That was a I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna ask for something outrageous, right?
yeah. Let me force your hand.
So this what Mickey do. I can't give you the 50, but guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you $40 million, and I'm not gonna even make you take a physical. And it's a moral to I'm telling you this to get to my point where I'm going with this, right? So, like I said, Rashid Shaheed, right? Chris Olave, who was our third receiver last year? Valdez Scantling, right?
Oh shit, yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Right? Brandon,
Yeah.
guess who was the top receiver on our team last year? With 500 yards. I did the research. Guess who it was?
Juwan Johnson.
Jawan Johnson was your top receiver.
Yeah, I already know. Juwan Johnson.
Jawan can't catch a cold Johnson.
Holding the hand Johnson.
This motherfucker would drop the flu.
Holding the hand Johnson.
I had to go in the pocket. Right? This motherfucker drop the flu. But what I'm saying this is how do you not go and get juice? How do you not go and how do you not go and develop talent?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not go and draft talent in this draft? And we
Yeah.
look at Atlanta, bro. Atlanta had a beautiful draft.
Yeah,
That
they
was
had
a
a good job.
dumbass move giving up their first round pick, but who cares? I already got my quarterback in the door,
Yeah.
right? My quarterback
Yeah.
in the door already. I got Bijan, right? I got
Yeah.
Robinson,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
got the wide receiver core questionable, but
Yeah,
still.
you could probably
But
still do another route.
I got Drake London, right?
Yeah.
I got my corners. You know what I'm saying? Well, barely. AJ Terrell.
Yeah, I mean that nigga get torched every
Yeah,
season when he
yeah.
hurt.
But that's what I'm saying though. But
Yeah.
look at Carolina. Carolina, Tet. I'm gonna get Tet, and then they go get fucking Jimmy Horn. You tell me,
I,
we couldn't use
I'd
B.
be surprised. I'd be surprised if Jimmy Horn stay on their team. They probably have him, but they probably let him go after a while. He was undrafted free agent. It's not like they drafted him.
No, they drafted Jimmy Horn in the sixth, Brandon. They
Well,
drafted Jimmy Horn got drafted in the sixth.
well, we shall see. if he lasts, because well, Carolina
Cano
need
got the
fucking weapons.
burners, man. He got the
But
burners.
yeah, Carolina need them weapons. So fuck, we shall see.
But that's what I'm saying. So you go get Ted. So they got better. Tampa went got this little speedster. I can't think of his name. Little speedster too.
Ted Johnson.
He he,
Ted
he
Johnson.
lighting the ass. He only 160 pounds, but he lightning fast, strides and
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah. If he don't get cut, if he don't get
And then
touched,
you
that
go
nigga.
get a, and then you go pick up an undrafted free agent in Shiloh. I think Shiloh is a.
Eh,
I like Shiloh in the box, right? You could send Shiloh to blitz the quarterback, and and he physical. So if you put him in that box, you run his way. If he could catch you, that motherfucker gonna lay the hat. He ain't scared to lay the hat at all.
yeah, yeah.
Physical, like. All right, let's go over the draft picks, B. Come on, let's. You got them listed.
Yeah, I wrote him down. We already talked about Kevin Banks a little bit,
All
but
right, let's go to the number 40 in the draft.
Tyler Shalom, quarterback Louisville. How you feel about him?
It,
Go ahead,
it's
rip him.
pronounced Shuck. You know that, right? It's Shuck.
Okay,
Tyler Shuck. That's what
Tyler
they.
Shuck.
Yeah, Shuck, like shucking oysters,
Okay.
like yeah. Um,
Yeah.
big, big, big quarterback. Um, actually got a pretty decent arm. I've been watching highlights on him for like 2 days now, right? Um, doesn't have any accuracy issues, none of that, right? Um, the motherfucker got an AARP card though. The motherfucker is 26, right? This is the problem I have with him, right? Is if you draft a 26-year-old quarterback, right? Look at Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker is sitting behind on the team, right? If you draft a 26-year-old quarterback, you do not have any time for him to develop. He needs to be on the field day one, right? Right? Is he ready for that? Is he ready for that? Right? I tell people game speed is 3 times faster than college game speed, right? Is he ready for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These quarterbacks this year, they have to be put into perfect situations, right? Even quarterbacks that had the intangibles that were in semi okay situations struggled last year. Keller Williams kind of struggled last year, right? He started finding his
I,
footing,
I knew that was coming, but yeah.
right? But I don't think none of these quarterbacks in this draft are more talented than Keller Williams.
Oh fuck no,
None of them.
not even close.
Not
Not
even
even close.
close. And that man struggled, right?
It's debatable for me personally. Cam Ward and him is debatable.
Cam Ward had a fucking amazing offensive line at Miami.
Cam Ward literally came out of nowhere. He went from what fucking Sun Belt,
Oh,
some shit like that.
I like the kid. I love the kid's story, man. He remind me of
Yeah,
Cam Newton,
but he came
right?
from like he played at Washington first, Washington
Right,
State, made them
right,
a top 25 team,
right.
and then went to Miami and fuck. If that defense wasn't as bad as it fucking was, that motherfucker would have been in the Big 12. He would have been in the college playoff. They would have probably won that shit. I
Nah,
said
he a
Miami
dog.
won.
He a dog.
I would have
But you
said
also got, but he also had a squad around him too, though, man.
oh, don't get it twisted. But that defense sucked. That fucking defense was terrible last year for
Right.
Miami.
Yeah. But I'm saying this to say I don't know. I don't see any, but I'll say this: Lewis Reddick. I
Mm-hmm.
I trust him, right? He was
Mm-hmm.
a GM. I think he should. I would love to have him as the same GM right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, I think he's probably one of the smartest football minds on TV, right? He
Mm-hmm.
says Tyler Shuck is the maybe the best quarterback in this draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, right? Um, I just don't see it right now. I don't personally, I don't see it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah.
But who am I? But who am I, right?
I mean, we. I think because of the fact that everybody wanted who they wanted, it kind of made people just sit there and be like, "Well, this kid ain't fucking good. You didn't watch the fucking kid tape. You don't even know who this kid is, and you just threw him out the fucking pasture and shot him in the fucking head and said, "Fuck this nigga." Like you can't do that because you don't know what the fuck the
Well,
plan is for the.
you know New Orleans, bro. New
Yeah,
Orleans
yeah, but
is.
like now you seeing people 2 days later and be like, nah, this fucking dude can actually play. No shit. Like you think he was just in a draft? Here's what I
What you
think people don't
what you
understand.
think about him?
And this, I had him 14th when we did the Mar draft, the pre-Mar draft show. I had him going to the Colts at 14. And Juan looked at me like I was crazy because I was like, nah, this kid is fucking better than the Colts options right now. I literally said the kid was better than the fucking Colts options. I'm like, you really telling me Daniel fucking Jones and Anthony Richardson are fucking good players right now that could go out there and play for you?
I actually like Anthony Richardson, but I
Anthony
get it.
Richardson can throw the Anthony Richardson can throw the fuck out the ball. The nigga can't throw medium to short routes at all. That's a fucking problem in the NFL. Yeah, you can throw 60 yards, but then have a 2 for 15 game because you can't throw the fucking ball to a
Right,
10-yard receiver. Like that fucking is crazy to me.
right.
But that's the thing. So I said I drafted this kid 14th. He was the third quarterback off the board for me. I thought Shador would go third to the fucking Giants. I'm like, yeah, like Shador goes to the Giants. He fits in the Giants. He could, if he can't play right now, at least he would have, something to rest on Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, so he would be good. But the fact that Tyler got taken, I think we're starting to now hear a lot of these reports come out now and saying like nobody really had Shador going top fucking 10 or 15. Like he wasn't even probably to a lot of these teams the third best fucking quarterback off the board, maybe even fourth. Like it's so for me, I thought Tyler was not as bad as everybody said. Yeah, the injury concerns, the age, I get that, but that's two fucking things. That's it. That's all y'all can bring up is two. He's 26 and he's fucking injury prone.
I knew we was gonna get on the Shador subject.
But but it's, but it's like I think a lot of people are starting like when people sat there, I was like, you telling me Jackson Dart went in the first? Now I don't. Jackson Dart was going to probably go in the first round. I thought he'd go to Pittsburgh at 21, but when Pittsburgh did take a quarterback, I thought the quarterback situation was done in
So
the first
this is
round.
the problem. This is the problem I have with the Shador situation.
Go ahead.
Is I feel like it wasn't based on talent for some of these teams. I feel like it was kind of a Dion. I'm gonna tell you what really fucked Shador up is when Dion got on a talk show
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Oh, my son ain't playing for a certain organization, right?" And what he failed to realize is if he's a high draft pick, he's going to one of those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dion kind of overestimated his power, right? Which
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, man. Dion is Dion, man. He gave his
Yeah.
all to that game, right?
Yeah.
Would it even be an NFL without Dion? Who knows? Like to be honest, like Dion gave people don't understand how big Dion was in his heyday. Like Dion was
Mm-hmm.
he was the face of the NFL at one point, right? And I kind of hate and you know people going, oh man, this you making it about a race thing. You got to call a spade, man. Because let's be honest, right? Um, shit. Archie Manning went and said, "Hey, Eli don't want to play for San Diego." San Diego drafted him. Archie Manning and Peyton them made sure that man got traded, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Dion, who arguably did more for the game than them, right?
Mm.
At the time, at the time, I'm not gonna say Peyton. He
all
did more for the
right,
game.
all
Well,
right,
well,
man.
but you got to think about this. At the time when Peyton did that, Peyton wasn't retired. Peyton ain't have no rings, Brandon. Arch never won. Arch never won, right?
Oh, no, Arch was never that guy. He was never that guy.
Okay. Dion is that fucking guy, bro. Like, let's be real,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. At that time, you get what I'm saying? At that time, they wasn't solidified as that family, right? Peyton was he was striving to be what he turned out to be one of the greatest ever. But Eli didn't have no two Super Bowls. We didn't know what the fuck Eli was going to be, to be honest, right?
Right.
But he steps in and says, "I don't. My son don't want to play on the West Coast."
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they made it happen. So my thing of it is why can't why so with the NFL, I kind of felt like me personally, I felt like if Shador would have came with like a struggle story and how he struggled to get to this point, and and he went through the ringer to get there, like kind of like Cam Ward, and I felt like the league would have ate it up, and I felt like Shador would have went to the Giants. Me personally, Cleveland would have drafted him or something like that, right?
Well, Cleveland did
Earlier,
draft him. Yeah, earlier.
earlier, a lot
Yeah,
earlier, right?
yeah.
Come on, man. Let's be honest, man. Dylan Gabriel ain't fucking better than no Shador Sanders, man.
He isn't. He isn't. I
Jackson Dart is questionable as far as that, right?
yeah, he is.
I don't feel like Tyler Shuck's a better quarterback than Shador Sanders, right? Right?
Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah. Listen, I mean, look, I'm gonna talk about this Tuesday when I believe sports when I do my own show, and I talk about this shit a little bit more. But the thing about I think with the Shador situation, I think a lot of people are not understanding when somebody falls that far, when they were projected to be a top 10, top 15 pick, that's a magnitude of shit. It's not just a racial thing. It's not just who his daddy is. It's like it's a magnitude of shit.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
it's a magnitude of shit. Now, did Dion help the situation when you go out your way to tell people that my son not playing for this fucking team, no matter if they draft him or not? Yeah, but also, bro, Deion Sanders has been in the NFL. You know who the fuck runs the NFL, and yet you still talked like you didn't know who the fuck runs the NFL. So they showed your son what the fuck what it was. Like, bro, and they showed him through you. Like, hey, bro, like it is what it is. You can't get fucking mad now because you sat there with a bold fucking face. And here's the thing, Shador did not help the situation either. When he got on his when he was at the fucking presser for the draft. He was at the draft combine. And he got on the stage. He was like, "If you don't want to win, and you don't want to win, don't draft me." All right, little motherfucker. Okay, then your ass not getting drafted. Type of nigga. Who the fuck says that shit? Did you not step? You not. You didn't throw it. This is my fucking pet peeve of fucking players. I swear to God, this is one of my pet peeves with fucking quarterbacks. I don't give a fuck. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael, all they have a reason for why they because they already know they're going top 10, top two, top three. If you don't fucking know, if you do not know, you better get your ass up and go throw at that fucking combine.
Well, that's the problem though. That man thought he was solidified in there.
But stop thinking what the fuck you think you are. These owners and these players and these people, they don't got time for what the fuck you think you are. Another thing, Deion Sanders was never a fucking quarterback, a leader of a team. You're asking Shador Sanders to be a leader of a fucking team, a leader of men, and he comes off as a cocky asshole. That's just how it goes. He may come off as a cocky son of a bitch. Now,
Right.
does he
So
does he
this
have
is
the
hold on. So
but
this
does,
is all right, but listen, hear me out, right?
go ahead.
I'm okay. I want my quarterback to be a little arrogant. I want him to be confident
And,
and
and,
cocky,
and,
right?
and that's not a
Because
problem.
you got a
That's not a
problem.
problem.
This is my problem with the NFL, right? You bring in a Johnny Manziel who was a fucking arrogant ass cokehead. You knew he had a fucking alcohol. You knew he was an alcoholic. You knew he was a cokehead, right? An arrogant
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker, not politically correct and everything. This is
Mm-hmm.
my problem with the NFL. Why, when it comes to the young black men, they have to have this humble Russell Wilson type of fucking
Well, Russell,
attitude?
well, Russ went third.
What I'm saying
Russ
is
went third round.
I get that, Brandon. But what I'm saying is, why can't I come in with a little confidence? I'm not, Shador. I've never struggled. My daddy is. I'm second
Well,
generation wealth.
if that's the case, Caleb Williams got drafted last year, and that motherfucker was cocky as a motherfucker.
Absolutely. But
All right then.
but this is the thing though. This
But
is the
that's what I'm
thing
saying.
though.
Like, but we can't move the goalposts for fucking people because
Well,
we just
no,
want to move the goalposts. Like,
I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm
because
not moving the goalpost.
Caleb Williams was straight up telling people, if I'm going number one, and if you I'm going number one, I don't care who's number one, I'm going number one.
But I'm gonna tell you this. But hold on, time out. Think about this though.
Right?
Kellen Williams was talking that shit about he ain't going to certain organizations, but when he got close to that draft, what happened? That motherfucker changed his tune, didn't he? Same thing with Shador, but I think Shador was already too late, man. I think it was already too late.
Shador was late, and I told you this Friday. He's the closest to a finished product as you're gonna get. What you see is what you get. There's nothing more you
So
can do with Shador.
you don't think you could develop
You could.
Shador?
He's already there. What the fuck can you get out of him? He's 6'1". He's not athletic as a motherfucker. He's okay. He can get out the pocket. He can do his thing. But bro, you could not get out the pocket in the Big 12 and the fucking Pac-12. Are you kidding me? In that defensive less
Brandon,
ass conferences, you couldn't run. Get the fuck out the pocket.
Brandon, let's be honest,
When
man. This
when
man
you when you
fucking that O
hold on
line was
when that's
terrible.
exactly what the fuck I was about to say. With that bullshit ass offensive line, you knew that offensive line sucked, and your ass did not choose to get the fuck out the pocket.
What the fuck, Brandon? The trenches is you
Rick,
contradict.
Rick,
Hold on, Brandon. Time out, time
no,
out.
no,
You
no, 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 no,
contradict
no.
yourself. You
How did I
contradict
contradict
yourself
myself? Go ahead. How?
because we just talked about this earlier. You told me
How?
the trenches. You gotta have the trenches. You gotta have the. That's why we went Calvin
Hold
Banks
on.
because you
Hold
gotta
on.
have a
Hold on.
trenches,
Hold on.
right?
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That's NFL, nigga. That's NFL. College? College.
Brandon, did you see that nigga offensive lines last year?
Rick, did you not see how fast this nigga had to get the fuck out the pocket? If you this athletic ass person that people keep screaming now you are, nigga, you could run. You could get out the pocket. You know, bro, you know you don't have the time and the fuck you know you don't have the time. You know that. You telling me you don't know that you can't sit in the pocket for 3.5 seconds? You know this shit.
All I'm
You
telling you,
know this.
look, let's be honest. So this is what I'm telling you, and I'm being totally honest. None of these guys highlight tapes.
And that's what
Which,
you see. But see, here's the thing.
well,
Y'all are
no,
going off of
but
fucking
hold on.
highlight
But
tapes.
listen
You
though.
going off on highlight tapes. Who gives a
Just
fuck?
what you see on the field, what you see. I think Shador was a work in progress. I even think Cam Ward still got work to do before he
Oh,
gets on the field.
Cam is definitely a working but the problem but the thing about Cam Ward is the nigga is athletic. He can get the fuck out the pocket.
But you also saying that behind the fucking that man offensive line was fucking
What
stout last year.
hold on. You saying last year, was it stout when he was at Washington State? No, because nobody watched him at Washington State.
Hmm?
Y'all going off of what the fuck happened last year. If I was to bring up Shador Sanders before he went to the fucking last year, and I say, yo, Shador Sanders finished the team literally finished what 4-8? Would
Yeah,
anybody would anybody bring that shit up? No, the fuck you wouldn't bring it up because nobody would care
Brandon.
about this shit
It
being
was
brought up.
they went to a program that was fucking terrible.
Who gives a fuck? You keep sitting up here saying he's a game changer, he's a winner. Well, the first year you
Fuck
played
said he
at
was a
deep,
game changer.
you drafted a lot fucking franchise quarterback, nigga. You better be a fucking game changer.
I never said the kid was a game changer.
Okay, y'all
I
saying this
said
nigga.
I said that fucking Jackson Dart. I said that fucking Tyler Shuck
But here's
and
that.
these quarterbacks that went on Dylan fucking Gabriel are not better than fucking Shador Sanders. That's
Here's the
what I'm
thing.
telling you.
Here's the thing. People that want to bring up this shit about Shador, people got to understand this too. He did not do himself any favors with this shit that he was doing. He did not do himself any favors. Then on top of that, the tape is not outrageous. People keep sitting up here like it's fucking crazy, fucking outrageous fucking film. This draft that people continuously not understanding this draft was never about finding a franchise caliber fucking quarterback. All of these fucking quarterbacks are going to need development. Every single
Absolutely.
fucking one of them.
Absolutely.
Every single fucking one of
Well,
them.
the problem with
The only one that's going to actually start is Cam fucking Ward. Why? Tennessee sucks. But Cam Ward is actually more
so
of
you
a.
think they just plug him in over Levis?
You fucking right. You already see what Will Levis is.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast right now, so y'all go sit down. Well, everybody, this is my daughter, so
Well, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
can y'all get out, please? Cam, Kai, actually, y'all go lay down. It's time to go to sleep. Cam, go get in my bed.
Yeah,
Right.
yep.
Sorry about that.
Nah.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
no,
but I think people are not understanding. This draft class was not about finding a franchise caliber quarterback. It's about, can you develop this person? I think what people not understanding is Shador is who he is. You're not gonna change who he is. He's already there. Like I kept saying, when people kept telling me he's accurate, okay, what else? He's accurate.
he's
Okay,
accurate as hell.
what else?
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem. Like all you can tell me is that he's accurate. That's it.
But let me ask
That's
you a
it.
question.
That's all he is.
You don't think he gonna go down there and beat Dylan Gabriel out his spot? Let's be honest. Deshaun, we
Depends.
already know Washington ain't coming back this year.
Here's the thing about this situation. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Cleveland fits him. Cleveland fit him. Now, why they didn't take him at first is fucking mind blowing. I don't know why. It's fucking very mind boggling. I don't know why they didn't take him first. But at the same time, Cleveland's also a team that we all know is not a great organization to go to.
No, not at all.
So you sitting, and so people now are sitting there trying to tell me, oh man, he gonna go out there and ball. Are the same fucking people that was telling me Cleveland is gonna fucking suck this year.
Yeah,
No matter who the fuck the quarterback is. So which
yeah.
one is it? Is it just because that they got Shador, they gonna go out there and ball, or is it because the fucking team suck and we know they gonna suck? Which one is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you this. I think he got put in one of the best situations ever with Stefanski. Like I think that was
It's a good
that's that's
at,
if nobody can develop him, Stefanski can go in and develop
Kevin
him. So
Stefanski.
I think Cleveland, like the GM got up there with all that bullshit and fuck out of here. I wasn't trying to hear none of that shit. That was a I don't care what nobody say. I feel like the owners got behind
But
closed doors and said, "Hey, we're gonna make an example out of this little motherfucker, right? Since he wants to come in with this cocky ass attitude, and he's saying he ain't gonna play. All right, look, nobody's taking him, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says, man. Let's be honest, man. Let's go back to Colin Kaepernick. That was a behind closed doors. These fucking owners got behind closed doors and said, as a collective, we ain't touching this motherfucker. Uh,
oh yeah,
Let's be honest, man. Fucking Isaiah Bond, bro. Because of this sexual assault allegation that I'm not gonna speak on because we don't know
yeah,
what's going on with that, right?
yeah, yeah,
Right? But it's
yeah,
innocent until proven guilty. Am I right or wrong, right?
right,
But because this man has that, same thing with Joe Mixon, and it came out that it wasn't the truth, right? I'm not
yeah.
saying that for Isaiah Bond because, like, once again, I don't know what you get what I'm saying. I don't know that kid. I don't know what happened, right? But what I'm saying is, bro, Isaiah Bond could have easily been a third round, fourth round pick, right? What's the dude name? Is it Cody DeConer? Cody, what is his name? Cody.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, I think he's from like Syracuse or something. I can't remember what school it's a cornerback, man. The guy got on there and was like 26 people are not better than me. And I went and looked at this dude highlight and I'm like, I would have took him over Riley if I'm the Saints, right?
Cody Bryant, I think it was.
Cody Bryant, a dog,
Yeah,
had great tape. I don't know why even Dez Bryant got on there and said, I can't believe this kid ain't get drafted, right? But we got to stop acting like these fucking owners don't band together and say, "Hey, man, we ain't touching that situation."
yeah. I mean, it's true,
Are
but
these
it, but
even these fucking coaches, right?
yeah.
We got
I
to
mean,
stop
but
acting like they don't band together and say, "Hey, man, we ain't touching this," because talent ain't everything, right? Because you got to remember, man, this is still, especially when you draft a quarterback, this is the guy he is the face of your team, right? When you're doing good, he gets all accolades. When you're doing bad, he's the one that's gonna take the shit, right?
yeah,
Right? So we got to be honest. But this is the thing I don't like about what they do to Shador is because you can say arrogant, whatever. This kid has never had a scandal off the field
True.
ever, right?
True.
This kid is a workaholic,
True.
right?
Yeah.
We've never heard any of his teammates come out and say this guy can't lead a team. All his teammates that play from Jackson State to Colorado, they rally around him. They love him, right? Have you ever heard him mic'd up when he tell Travis, "I don't give a fuck. Go catch the ball." Like that's what he told Travis. What Travis do? Go catch that fucking ball, right? Right? So with the because we got to stop this shit, man. We got to stop because media. That's why I think Mel Kiper was so pissed off, bro. And Louis Reddy kind of calmed him down because he like, hey man, you about to give up some secrets that we know what's going on behind these closed doors, but you about to. Why you think Mel Kiper was so pissed off, man? Why was
Yeah,
he
but
so
also,
upset?
yeah, but Mel Kiper also has been on record been like, if Jimmy Clausen isn't a Pro Bowl quarterback, I'm gonna retire. Like,
Yeah,
nigga,
he
what
should
the
have
fuck are you
retired.
talking about?
He should have
Like, what the
retired.
fuck is you,
That
bro?
motherfucker like he need to
This
retire
is
anyway. That
this
motherfucker at 97 years old. But
I mean,
but
this is the same fucking dude that literally told everybody that I would
well,
take Will Levis
it's
over
not.
C.J.
But
Stroud.
it wasn't about his talent, B. It was
This is
about just.
that.
But it's just about. Think about this. Like I'm on Twitter, man, and all I seen is this people questioning this man character, this, and this, and this, and this. But then, like I said, you bring in a Johnny Manziel, you bring in,
But
uh,
but
but
and
listen though, Brandon,
go ahead.
these
Go ahead.
what's Tampa Bay's quarterback name?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. These are arrogant little
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers were arrogant out the gate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel was a fucking bust, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's confident, right? That's confident. But
Yeah.
Shador's arrogant. You get what I'm saying? Johnny Manziel was a known alcoholic, a fucking drug addict. But that was confident. This kid has never had no scandals. Teammates love him. Great leadership. Work a fucking holic. Always in the funeral room. Everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Always in the funeral room, right?
Yeah.
But he's arrogant. And that's the narrative they paint, right?
Yeah.
So my thing of it is, hey man, why can't that kid be arrogant and confident? Now, if he goes in there and fails, guess what? You can talk about him and rib him 2 times harder, right?
Yeah.
But don't prejudge that kid off of him having confidence in himself, though.
Yeah. I mean,
And we can move on from that topic, B.
nah. I feel like I get what you're trying to say. I get what everybody's trying to say. It's like y'all trying to make this way deeper. Y'all trying to make this deeper than what it is,
I
and
don't, I don't, hey, LeBron, LeBro.
no. I'm saying I'm trying to. I feel like a lot of people. Here's the thing: Baker Mayfield was almost out the fucking league a couple years ago. People forget this shit. Baker Mayfield
Yeah,
was almost out the fucking league
yeah,
if
yeah,
he didn't straighten the fuck up. So the
right,
shit we see today from Baker Mayfield is not the Baker Mayfield when he first got into the league. Because a
right.
lot of motherfuckers was like, this motherfucker, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Why would you draft him number fucking one? You had tons of fucking people shitting on that boy. Like,
Right.
yo, matter of fact, when the fucking nigga, when he got the job at Tampa Bay, from at the time Brady, people looked at Tampa Bay like they lost their fucking mind. Like, you
Right.
gonna bring in Baker fucking Mayfield to replace Tom fucking Brady? Are you
And
crazy?
guess what? This dude been balling ever since.
He been balling ever fucking since. Johnny Manziel, who was second number one, was second like 26. Yeah, Johnny Manziel is a fucking bust. A
Mm-hmm.
fucking bust. You know the funny part about all that shit is? You know who took all those fucking quarterbacks, even Shador? Cleveland.
But this is,
yo,
but listen though,
yo,
but listen
that's
though,
so fun.
but
But
this is
I'm
what
just,
but hear
I'm
me
just.
out
Go
because you
ahead.
proving a point. You proving a point though, right?
Oh, but I think when I think people bring that up and when people continuously bring up this point is at some point after the draft they had to prove it. Johnny Manziel proved that he was a fucking bust, and you probably should never took him. Baker Mayfield proved that nah, motherfucker, I can play. I just had a lot of bullshit going on, and now that I can play.
But but but
Shador
this but
Shador
this
has, but Shador now. This is the point of the draft, but we need to stop. We need to stop the shit. It's over. Now it's
oh,
time
I'm
to
done
show
with it.
it. Yeah,
Oh,
now it's time, and
it
that's for
show up.
everybody.
It show
Now
up.
but that's the thing. Like
All
you,
I'm saying is, all I'm
yeah,
saying is,
but
people,
Jack,
let's
yeah,
not criticize the man. But see, a lot of people, this too though, man, they're holding his dad against him, right?
but you got, and it's another thing, right? Like I said, when you fall that far, it's a magnitude of fucking things. Do I think Deion Sanders has something to do with that shit? Him coming out doing what he did on the talk show and all that other shit? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But on top of that, you gotta also put into perspective a lot of
Well,
these teams. You gotta
well,
put into
Brian
perspective.
Dable
But
had
but
a lot to do with that.
but here's the thing. A lot of these teams that were maybe high up on Shador that probably had quarterback situations. What the fuck do you think is going to happen if they do not succeed this season and they fail with Shador at the helm? What's going to happen?
So I have a question.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
What do you think? Jobs gonna be lost?
They're going to get fucking fired. Now, what the fuck you think is going to happen next?
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So you don't take Shador first round, right?
Okay.
Okay. So you don't take him second round.
Okay.
Cleveland comes up to the third round and they don't even take him third round, right? But you
Okay.
take him at fourth round, right?
Fifth.
No, what I'm saying is if you take him over Dylan Gabriel in the fourth, right? Because they took Dylan Gabriel in the fourth, right? Or did they
Yeah.
take him in the third?
I think they took him in the third. People see he is four, but I think they took him in the third because I think he got taken. I think Jalen Monroe got taken and then he got taken.
So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You don't draft him in the first round, but you have two picks in the second round. You got a pick in the third, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a pick in the fourth, and you got a pick in the fifth, right? After those two picks in the second round, you don't take him, but you take him as a third. Who gives a fuck if he's a bust or not? It's a third round pick.
I, he's a bust, but it's just. But here's the thing, he's a
It's a third
it's.
round pick.
But
I
here's the thing.
don't. Hey,
But
you try until you succeed, right?
here's 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 the thing. No matter where Shador would have got at that time, it didn't matter where the fuck Shador got picked. The fix was in. It didn't matter. The fix was in. So wherever he got drafted, whoever took him, the media was gonna be on their ass, and
It's
it
kind of
didn't
the
matter.
same thing with Bronny, because
Yeah,
look, me and Lee, boy, me and Lee got into it so heavy about Bronny, and I'm publicly saying, you was kind of right. You weren't all the way right, but you was kind of right, right?
what you say, man? What did he
Well,
say?
I feel like Bronny is not that talented, to be honest, and he's like, who cares? He's just kind of like, hey man, I like the nepotism. Let us have some nepotism sometime. And he right. That's how I kind of feel about Shador. I'm like, shit. If he
And
fail,
you
he fail. Oh
see
well.
and see that's where the problem kicks in. It's cool to have nepotism, but if you fucking suck, we can't call you out on it because you black. That's bullshit.
No, we definitely could call you out on it.
All
But
right
let
then. So
but
no,
let me let me get there first.
go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let me get there first. And then if I suck,
Okay,
call me out on it.
but that's what I'm
We
like
didn't
you
talk.
said. But
We weren't talking shit about Bronny until Bronny starts stinking up the fucking place. And we like,
but that's the thing. But if you looked at his stats in college and you watched him in college, you saw that shit coming.
yeah, but you can't say that about fucking Shador in college stats.
But again,
He
that's what
was
I
lighting
said.
shit up. You could say
But
he was in a
again,
bad conference,
but
but he was lighting shit up though.
but here's again.
You
But
can't compare Bronny and Shador
but here's
in fucking
oh no
college.
no oh, fuck no oh fuck no you
Okay,
bet
because
not
Shador was
you
lighting shit
bet
up,
not.
right?
But here's what people will sit there and tell you like okay Shador light shit up. Did he win?
You know,
Okay then. And that's where people sit there and say, okay
Brandon,
then.
did Tyler Shuck win?
No, but nobody gives a fuck about Tyler Shark. But y'all talk about
Brandon,
see this. But
Brandon,
that's see y'all are bringing up other fucking people. We're talking about
Brandon.
Shador.
What I'm saying is,
We're talking
what
about
quarterback,
Shador.
what quarterback in the draft won besides fucking Will Howard?
That motherfucker barely fucking won. That
Quinn Ewers got there. Quinn
motherfucker.
Ewers got there. Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers. Didn't Quinn Ewers go before Shador? No, he went seventh or some shit like that.
Nah. Yeah, he
Yeah, my
went like
bad.
six.
My bad. Yeah, he went seventh.
Yeah, he went like six. He went like six. Yeah.
All right, but that's what I'm saying though. What quarterback won? Was one on one? Cam didn't win
But
shit.
but here's the thing. But here's the thing. Nobody gives a fuck when y'all are banging on the table about Shador. Yeah, we can bring that shit up, but then and then that argument go right back to Shador. But that nigga didn't win shit. The fuck are we talking about? That's
None of
the
them niggas
argument.
won shit, Brandon.
But that's the
None of them.
argument. See, but that's the argument. You want to bring up stats, but did he win? He did. He damn sure didn't win in the Pac-12. He had his worst probably since
The
his
man went
freshman year.
93. The nigga went 93.
No, that was last year. I'm talking about the Pac-12.
What are you
When he
talking about?
first when he first got to Division I football
Who?
in the Pac-12, Shador,
Yeah, they was 4-8.
and that's what I'm saying.
Brandon, dude, did you see that fucking team? That team was fucking horrible.
But that's what I'm saying. Y'all
They went
sit
to they went and took a developmental situation. Brandon,
but
you
that's
talking
what.
about
But
you saying it like the nigga went to Michigan and got plugged
hold on,
in Michigan.
hold on. But that's what the fuck everybody's gonna tell you. That's what I'm saying. Y'all continuously bringing up last year. Okay, great. He was 9-3 last year. But when the
Brandon,
big bottom, well,
Tyler, sh- all right, hold on. Let me
hold on.
tell you something. All right, go
Good.
ahead, because I'm about to shut you down.
But
Go ahead,
the big
go ahead.
Louisville was never supposed to be good last year. But people want to. But here's the thing:
I'm about
you
to shut you
went
down though. Go ahead.
Shador, Colorado, all of them. They went into a Big 12 last year. They had no Texas, no Oklahoma. Y'all were the preeminent favorite to win the Big 12 last year, and you fucking still didn't win. You didn't even play in the fucking Big 12 championship game, and you had a chance to fucking do it. You had the chance. You were right there. You were the number one team in the conference at one point, and all you had to do was beat Kansas, and you fucking lost.
Is that on me? I'm one
Yes,
person.
because you scored 21 fucking points. Your offense didn't do shit in that game.
I'm out there catching the ball too.
But that's what the
The
fuck the
fucking
problem is,
the
y'all.
Heisman
But here's the thing.
Trophy. The
But here's the
Heisman
thing.
Trophy went on the same fucking
Whoa,
field as
whoa, whoa,
me.
whoa, 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 whoa. Here's the thing.
Number two pick.
And
He on
that's
the same
exact.
field as me.
You know what? I was just about to say that. That's another thing about Shador that people don't want to bring up. It ain't just about his fucking father. See, people keep saying that and think it's about Deion. It's like, did Travis Hunter make Shador better, or did Shador make Travis Hunter better?
Come on, man. Let's be fucking.
But
Oh my god.
here's the thing. That's
All
a
right,
fucking question that these GMs are having. Y'all sitting up here acting like
Brandon.
these
Let
not
me
the
ask you a question though.
questions.
All right. So we talking about who should have won before him. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Tyler Shuck is 26 years old, right?
Okay.
This man played 7 seasons, right?
Okay. Okay.
He had 7,000 yards career in
Okay.
7 seasons.
Okay.
Tyler Shuck had his first good season last year.
Okay.
He went before
But
Shador. That's
okay.
what I'm. And this motherfucker is 4 years, 5 years older than
Hold on.
Shador.
But here's the thing. Shador is the name. Everybody's going to focus more on Shador. Yes, Tyler
What
Shaw.
I'm
Maybe.
saying is,
Go ahead.
what I'm saying is,
What?
is everything you're saying, these other motherfuckers got the same credentials, the same fucking credentials. That's the problem I have with that.
And people would tell you, and this is what people would say. Okay, but they're not the ones banging on the fucking table telling me that to take their ass if they come to my fucking draft.
What I'm telling you is
Like,
that shit wasn't talent based. And you keep saying it like it was talent based. Shit's not
it,
fucking talent based.
did I say
It
that was
wasn't.
talent based? Wait, whoa. Did I say
Yes,
it was
you
talent based?
did say. You said, man,
No, I did.
it's what the GM see. The GMs
No, no,
don't
no,
see
no, no.
talent because you like,
Rick,
well, he was in this conference and this
Rick,
conference. And
hold on. I never said it was just talent based. I literally said yes. All of this shit is a magnitude of things. I've been saying it's a magnitude of things. It's every fucking thing. It's race. It's all that. It's everything. But then when you compound the fact that you come in probably telling these people like, don't take me. You literally on podiums at a fucking NFL draft combine saying, if you don't want to win, don't take me. The fuck? Your dad on TV shows telling people, I don't give a fuck if you take my son. I'm not taking you. He's not going to you. He's not going to you.
right, right,
So it's a magnitude of fucking things. You don't fall that far without everything being looked at.
right,
So yes, the tape itself was probably good. But when I also sit there and say, okay, there's nothing left that we can really teach this kid. You probably have to play him right away if you're going to draft him. If we fail, what the fuck do you think the media is going to immediately start saying? How about you just hire his father next year? What the fuck are you telling what are you telling my coaching staff already? My coaching staff who just drafted this fucking kid is now like, man, we might get fired because this fucking kid can't really do what we thought he can do. Travis Hunter is a generational talent. Everybody keeps saying. I don't think that, but everybody keeps saying Travis Hunter is a generational talent. Okay, Travis Hunter is a generational talent. So is that because he's just that great, or is that because of Shador Sanders? It's a lot of shit that goes into these drafts, and people keep sitting up here pretending like they never heard of this shit before. Bro, I've been watching this shit since we were kids. We know this shit. There's not just one thing that goes into this shit. A person that was supposed to go in the top 10. You telling me all of these scouts that went down there and watched this fucking kid practice, do all his workouts, probably bring him in for private workouts, watched him repeatedly, and you telling me, and then on top of that, his father is considered one of the greatest football players of all fucking time. Probably considered one of the greatest cornerbacks of all fucking time in NFL history. And y'all
Brandon,
still sitting up here telling me
Brandon.
he's just
Let me ask you a
it's just
question.
because he's
Let me
cocky.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. And you said it yourself, right? If I want to hurt your draft stock, right? I want to hurt your draft stock. What could I do to go in and start hurting your draft stock? I can start coming up with these stories and put them in them because all these teams, every team has a time
Oh,
out. Every
go ahead.
team has a reporter that does their dirty work, right? Like
Oh
New
yeah.
Orleans, we got Jeff Duncan, dumbass, right?
That
And
motherfucker that nigga sucks.
right, and then you got and I like Nick. I like Nick Underwright, but Nick is
hmm
starting to develop that
Underhill.
Jeff Duncan
Nick
shit.
Underhill. Nick Underhill. Yeah.
Right?
hmm
Um, we talking about Jeff Duncan, right? We talking
hmm
about Nick Underwright, right?
hmm
If I want to leak a story, right? So let me ask you a
hmm
question, Brandon, because because let's think about this. Let's think about this and let's really talk about this because you making it seem like if the NFL don't want to fucking hurt you or they don't want to taint your name, they ain't gonna start putting out these little bullshit stories about you.
Whoa. I never said that shit. Listen, again, you are represent all of these fans, man. Like stop, like bro. I'm not saying that
Keeping it
shit.
a, I'm keeping it,
I,
I'm keeping it a
I'm
fucking bean because it's the truth.
no,
Think about this.
no,
Let me ask you a
no.
question. How do I hurt Michael Thomas stock? Right? I start going in and saying how Michael Thomas is, which, let's be real with the Saints, because we're going to go back to the Saints, right?
Go ahead.
They start saying how Michael Thomas was this, Michael Thomas was that. Jeff Duncan start putting out stories how Michael Thomas was just a nuisance in the locker room, right?
hmm
Right?
hmm
When Michael Thomas, all he started doing was calling out, hey man, Derek Carr out here throwing medical balls, right? He's throwing medicine balls. Motherfucker getting people concussed, everything like that, right? Every fucking thing Michael Thomas said about this fucking organization has came to fruition. Every single thing from Dennis Allen is a dumbass coach to Derek Carr is setting people up to get fucking hurt. He don't understand the game. Everything Michael Thomas said about the organization was true. But you know what the Saints wanted to do? They wanted to tank Michael Thomas' name so Michael Thomas couldn't go nowhere else. And that's exactly what the fuck they did. Just like with Colin Kaepernick, right?
Yeah.
They start saying on how he was just this fucking his play has declined. This man played in a fucking Super Bowl, right? So let's not make it seem like when the NFL wants to fucking taint your name, they can't, right?
Oh, I'm not. I never said,
Joe
bro.
Mixon. Joe
But
Mixon is another prime example, right? Joe
yeah.
Mixon should have been a fucking #1 overall pick.
Oh, I don't know about all that now.
Joe Mixon was. Look up Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was
Bro,
gonna be fucking a first rounder, #1 overall.
it was not gonna be no first round overall, #1 overall. Rick, running backs don't go #1. That shit. Let's kill that shit right now.
Brandon, at that
Running
time,
backs don't go #1.
Joe Mixon was gonna be fucking number. He was projected to be #1. This shit come out, NFL start releasing stories. Draft stock drop. So let's not act like the fucking NFL don't tank people names.
Oh, I never said
Let's not do that. Let's
Rick,
not do that.
Rick. Every fucking year, there's a fucking prospect that gets the fucking NFL treatment of he ain't really that good. Listen to what this is. Listen to this story. Listen to this story.
Kyron Lacy. Hold on.
Rest
Kyron
in
Lacy.
peace.
R.I.P. Kyron Lacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
They started doing that with him. Yeah.
The LSU.
Oh, don't get Rick. I know this shit. You telling me like I don't know this shit. They tank everybody's stock. There's certain, like we say all the time, when the shit is slow, they start pulling out fucking stories out their ass.
Yeah.
Then when shit is slow, they start pulling stories out their ass.
Come on,
shit
man.
That you ain't never heard in a million. Like when the fuck did this come up? You just be sitting there like what the fuck? But here's the thing. Again, I'm not sitting there and saying, like I said, it's a magnitude of fucking reasons for why Shador probably fell the way he fell. Is these owners fucking racist? You're fucking right, they racist. Who the fuck told you they wasn't racist? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro, it's the fucking NFL. They literally banned Colin Kaepernick because he was telling them the fucking truth. Yo, you had the soldier himself go out on press tours and saying, I told him to do that.
Yep.
And people were still like, I don't care.
Yep.
Fuck. Bro, this shit happens. It's the NFL. The fact that Deion Sanders knows this shit and still sat there with his cocky ass and still said, I'm not gonna let my son go to any team. Bro,
I told you straight up. Me and you agreed.
But that's what I'm saying.
Deion,
but I'm saying, like,
think,
but people are
Deion. I think Deion hurt his stock more than that kid hurt his stock.
Yeah, but I think that people don't understand. Like I said, like it's a magnitude of things. I think when people turn on the tape, as great as it looked, it's like, okay, what can we do with him? Is there still more to grow, or is that just?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Is that
I think they thought Shador would have to go to a good situation to be.
He does. He has to go to.
The only problem is the good situations. They don't need quarterbacks.
They don't need quarterback, and that's that's what people not understanding. It's like, yes, maybe the first round it was blackball, maybe even the second round, but by the third, fourth round, it's like, bro, we don't really fucking need you. We are already there.
Right.
It's like we already. Does Baltimore need a quarterback? I was gonna do this Tuesday, but I'm gonna do it here. Look at all of the teams. Atlanta took a quarterback last year. Chicago took a quarterback last year. New England took a quarterback last year. Denver, Minnesota, all of them took a quarterback last year. Okay, so that already kills that. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, who else? Washington, Philly, shit, even Dallas. There's certain teams that could have took a quarterback, but you're not gonna draft fucking Shador Sanders because one, he's bringing a fucking media storm. In the moment your quarterback fuck up, what the fuck do you think the crowd gonna be screaming? Put Shador in. That already fucks up your quarterback's confidence, and now he doesn't want to go out there and play.
Right. And I kind of feel like that was kind of Mickey Loomis thing. Like Mickey Loomis really has this like fucking man crush on Derek Carr, bro.
But this is what people not understanding. It's a magnitude of fucking things. Yes, we can sit there and say it's race. You fucking right, it's race. We not gonna sit up here and deny it. Anybody that sit up there and be like, "Yo, this is not racial," you stupid as a motherfucker. Are you stupid?
You
Yes,
right.
it's about race. Are you kidding me? It's fucking Shador. Like, bro. But here's the crazy part. It's not the media that's doing it. The media is all in love with this kid. They love this fucking kid. They think he should be the guy. So who's doing it? It's these scouts that's going to talk to him. That's like, yo, he all right. Like the tape is cool, but he does need to mature. He needs to grow up a little bit.
Right.
I don't think he can handle the pressure of being on his own. He needs his dad. I don't think he's ready to be the guy. He
But I
needs
have a
his
question though.
but that's
But this,
but that's
but
go
Brandon,
ahead. Go
let
ahead.
me, let me, let me. This is what I'm saying about this though.
Go ahead.
Since when have the scouts determined people's character? Like, when does the scouts say the scouts are the ones that go and say, "Hey, this guy's got talent," right? Why do the head coaches do the interviews? Because they're the one that comes in and assesses characters. Like I told you, Brandon, Brian Dable, which I think Brian Dable's a fucking asshole. Like, I hate his personality. Brian Dable's the one that leaked the story out there about Shador.
But at the same time, Brian Dable is one of the teams that had the top 3 pick that could have taken him.
I'm definitely saying that. But what I'm talking about is it was it like, but this just goes back to tell you, just going back to say this shit wasn't about talent. It's not
But
about talent.
it's not. But again,
It's not.
but
Which
again, but it's but
and
it,
and you got to think about this too, though. If we look at the Giants' history, right? That quarterback for the Giants, there's name them.
I mean, well, they got 2 right now: Russell Wilson and James Winston.
Yeah, now, right now.
So, but this is the thing. Like, I think
What
that
I'm
people.
talking about is,
But again, like Brian Dable.
but you got to think about this too, though.
Go ahead.
If I got a Russell Wilson in the door and I got a Jameis Winston in the door right now, right? Jackson Dart. I picked Jackson Dart to sit on a bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible this little motherfucker Shador could come in here and beat out Russell Wilson and James Winston for this fucking job, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit more of a conflict of this dude got the intangibles to come in and beat some of these guys on
But
our roster.
but
On
what
our
people
roster.
not. But here's what people not understand. It goes into what I just said about
Oh,
coaching.
let's talk about Pittsburgh. Oh my Pittsburgh.
But here's that about the Giants situation, right? Brian Dable and the GM is literally on the fucking hot seat, and they know it.
Right.
You take a Shador Sanders and he doesn't pan out. See, this is another thing that people don't want to say. If you take him and he
Well,
doesn't pan out, if
well,
he doesn't pan out, now you pissed
well,
away your pick
well, Brandon,
on your quarterback.
Brandon, you say that to say this though. Hold on, time out. Let's go back.
Go ahead.
Shador Sanders in New York. Shador knew he wasn't starting this year. Brian Dable and this GM only got 1 year left. If Brian Dable and this GM don't turn the Giants around, they're gone at the end of the year.
But but here's the thing.
Both of them.
But here's the thing. What keeps your job? Shador or Jackson Dart? What keeps your job? Shador or Jackson Dart?
Is Jackson Dart starting?
What keeps your job, Rick? What keeps your job?
Shador.
No, he
The
doesn't.
fuck?
No, he doesn't.
How does Jackson Dart keep your job over Shador, Brandon? Let's
Because,
let me know this.
Rick, the reason why Jackson Dart keeps Brian Dable's job is because he's the one that can tell them I can develop him.
Brandon, you thinking way too deep right now. Brian
No, I'm
Dable,
not. No, I'm
time
not,
out.
Rick. See,
Brandon,
that's what I'm. See,
Brandon,
that's what I'm saying. Y'all think it's about. Brian Dable's thinking about keeping his fucking job. If I bring in Shador and he doesn't
Brandon,
fucking work,
Brandon,
I am
Brian
getting
Dable,
fired.
Brian Dable didn't like Shador from the start.
Again, listen, that might be fucking true. But on top of that, like I just said a couple minutes ago, what the fuck did I just say? A lot of these head coaches, especially Brian Dable
So he feel
particularly,
like he feels like
if
Shador's not coachable.
no, you're not listening to what I'm saying. If you are Brian Dable and you know your job is on the fucking line this year, and you draft Shador Sanders, if you do not pan out with this fucking quarterback, what the fuck do you think everybody in New York is gonna say? What the fuck do you think everybody's gonna start saying in the sports media?
So I got a question. So what if Jackson Dart don't pan out?
But here's the thing. But that's on him because he drafted him. If you draft Shador, is that
Randy, you're not
if
making
you
a point.
no no
You're
no
not
no
making a point.
I am making a point. Let me say because you jumping in. If you draft Shador and you said it, if he beats them out, but they don't win in the actual football world, right? If they don't win these games, he's getting fired. Fuck it, he's getting fired. What the fuck you think is gonna happen?
Brandon, if
Everybody,
Jackson Dart, if Jackson Dart goes in and beats those
but here's
guys out,
but here's the thing. Is Jackson Dart starting this year?
is Shador starting this year?
You just said it. Shador has a better chance of beating them out than Jackson fucking Dart does.
So you telling me? So this is the question, though, B. This is my thing, right?
Go ahead.
So if Brian Dable is on the hot seat, regardless
Yes.
of what quarterback he drafts, right? Because we know Russell Wilson. You bought Russell Wilson and you paid him what, $40 million for 1 year, $30 million.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Russell Wilson's your starting quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if should if Russell don't pan out this year, Brian Dable's going.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What people not understanding, bro, is these teams are thinking 2, 3 years ahead. And I think about right now, particularly the Giants. The Giants,
Dable's
the
thinking
people.
right now.
Here's the thing.
Dable and that GM thinking right now because they know they're
Here's
on
the
the
thing.
hot seat.
Totally, but you don't. But they don't let you trade the fuck back into the first round and go get a quarterback that you know can't start right now if they don't trust you. If they don't have more faith in you than we think they do.
I
They
don't
have
know, B.
way. They
I
have
don't know.
faith. They have.
I'm not seeing that vision.
They have faith in their in that
I'm
kid. They
seeing
have.
I'm seeing Dable didn't
But here's the
like
thing. But here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Dable said wait, Dable said that Shador didn't come to the interview prepared. Right? He says the guy he had his headphones on. He didn't come to the interview prepared. I have a question though. If we're talking the game of football in an interview, right? And we're going over X's and O's,
Mm-hmm.
you really think Shador don't know the game of football on X's and O's? Because that's what it's about, right? When we interview, we talking about X's and O's, right? The
Yeah.
knowledge of football, right?
Yeah.
What could you bring to this team? What could you do? I'm gonna put this situation on the board and you telling me that kid is smart and we talked about it. You agree he's a workaholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we talking football, you talk about X's and O's and what I would do in this situation and what I would do in this situation. You telling me that kid don't know what to do in football situations?
Here again. Again. It's two sides to every story. We don't know what the fuck happened in that room when they got in that room together. Nobody does.
I think, me personally,
I
I
mean,
think,
this. I mean,
and it's just listen. This is not. I'm telling you on what I think. I think Shador got in there, and I think Dable wanted Shador to come in there with this kind of a, hey, yes, sir, just
nah, I don't
timid
think that.
ass.
I don't think that shit. If you watched last year off season with the Giants, Malik Neighbors didn't even come in there like that. Malik Neighbors told they asked to fix the quarterback position. I don't draft him.
Let me ask,
like,
let me ask you a question. Let me
what
ask
we
you a
talking
question.
about?
So let me ask you a question. Who you think Malik Neighbors would have rather have? Jackson, Dart, Shador? Because look, this is the thing though. This is the thing with Cleveland, and this is what I'm saying though, bro. And it's fucking crazy, though. And this is just what I'm saying, right? Cleveland went around drafting this man, right? They got Gabriel and everything.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you draft this dude, Denzel Ward, your fucking all-pro corner, gets on there and says, tweets him, legendary, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, what's his name? Your fucking tight end. What's his name?
David
In
Njoku.
your team, your team, your players have already rallied around Shador and telling you,
Oh, because, oh, but you gotta realize that they also just watched this man get fucked over by the NFL. They just watched
so.
him get
But this
fucked
is
over
what
by the
I'm saying.
NFL.
So this is what I'm saying though, Brandon, and it goes back to this. These are NFL players, right?
Yeah,
Who
but
doesn't? So let me ask you a question. You think Denzel Ward, if Denzel Ward thought that Denzel Ward knows football, right? And Joku knows football. These are NFL players.
again, y'all are trying to make this everything else, and listen. The Giants have a reason. This is my thing about the Giants. The Giants drafted Jackson Dort because Brian Dable could sit there and tell the owner, "I'm the only one that could develop him." Right or wrong, that's what the fuck he told him. I can develop him. Okay, okay, draft your quarterback. And plus, on top of that, they owed him that because they made him keep Daniel Jones way longer than what the fuck he was supposed to keep Daniel fucking Jones. So they owed him that. So he took Jackson Dart. It is what it is.
So they
It
took.
is what it is.
So they took Jackson. They took Daniel Jones 2.0.
He might turn out to be Daniel Jones 2 fucking. We don't fucking
So
know.
let me ask you a question. So
But what
go
but what
get.
people
So
but
Brandon, I have
what
a
people
question. I have a question,
but what
right?
but here's
Brandon, I have a.
but
Listen up.
I'll let you I let you.
All right.
Here's the thing. If he took Shador and Shador started for him right away and they lose, he's getting fired. That immediately would trigger people telling everybody, well, you know what they should do? They should go hire Deion Sanders. A lot of these teams that had a chance to probably take this kid and probably needed a quarterback are on fucking coaching hot seats and they know it. So if I'm gonna draft a quarterback that is somewhat talented, could do his thing, but who the fuck is gonna get the blame? Is it gonna be me or is it gonna be him? It's gonna be the coach.
Right.
And immediately they're gonna be like, well, fuck that. Go get Deion Sanders, the only person that we've ever seen really get the best out of Shador. That
I,
immediately makes these teams say, you know what? I'm good.
let me ask you a question.
Go
I
ahead.
got a question.
Go ahead.
So if Russell Wilson goes out there and the Jets go 5-11 this year, does Brian Dable have a job?
I don't think Russell wasn't gonna be out there for 5-11.
If what were the Giants' record last year?
Fucking 4-13, maybe 5-12, maybe.
Who's
Maybe.
the Giants' receiving core? Malik Neighbors and who else?
Darius Slate. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about the Giants' defense?
It's better than most. I mean, a dual call is gonna make a difference. So yeah.
They got Paulson and Debo now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Right. You think Giants make the playoffs next year? This
Fuck
season?
no. Fuck no.
If Dable don't make the playoffs, Dable's fired.
I don't know about that.
I guarantee it.
I don't know about that.
I bet you a steak at Outback Steakhouse.
Rick, I don't no.
We go sit down and have it. We go sit down next. We'll
Here's
go
here's
record. Dable
here's the reason
fired.
here's the reason why I say that. Because in the NFC is not great. Don't get it twisted. But you're not
His
better than
division.
the
His division ain't even just.
what?
Oh, I'm tripping. They got the Eagles. Oh, fuck, they
And the
got one
Commanders.
too.
Are you crazy?
Oh yeah, and they got the Cowboys.
They ain't getting out that fucking division. They barely win fucking 2 games against them fucking teams. Barely.
So that's what I'm. But this is
But
what I'm
but
saying,
but
Brandon.
but but and then you
So,
and then you
but
but then you
Brandon,
add on
he
to
said You just
But
said that you don't think they win. They don't. You don't think they. I'm counting 6 losses for them right now.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dallas. I
but
think
that's what
Dallas
I'm.
beats them twice,
But
maybe
Rick,
once.
that's
The
what I'm
Eagles
saying.
beat them twice. The
But,
Commanders beat them twice. That's
I
five
just said,
losses right there.
but Rick, I just said this. That is why I said if you draft Shador and that team does not pan out the way everybody thinks it would pan out with
Brandon,
Shador,
regardless if you
who
bring
is
Shador in, even if he beats out Russ, you don't put Russ on the fucking bench when you're paying him $40 million. Russell Wilson is your starting quarterback this year, regardless if you get Shador or not.
hold on, Rick. Is Shador a starter right now?
No.
You don't think he's a starter right now?
In Cleveland, maybe. Yes.
But you don't think he's a starter right now?
It depends on what situation he goes to.
Okay, you just said he could beat out Russ and James Winston, right?
Yeah, but you're not gonna, even if he beat out Russ and James Winston, you're not starting him.
You're not tied to Russell Wilson. He's only there for a year. You could cut that
Brandon,
nigga
you paid him
tomorrow.
$40 million. You paid him $30 million. You're tied to him for that year. You're not
I've
gonna.
seen
You don't have a $30 million quarterback on the
Rick,
bench unless he's just
Rick,
stinking up the fucking place. But
Rick,
he's on that field.
Rick. You know who did that before? Seattle,
Who?
Seattle,
Seattle did
Seattle.
what?
Seattle paid a quarterback and then they released his ass the next fucking year.
Brandon. He played that fucking year though, Brandon.
No, he
That's what.
didn't. No, he didn't.
Brandon.
You want to know
Who did Seattle pay
you
$30 million to and had him on the bench?
Seattle paid $30 million to Matt Flynn and drafted Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson beat him out in training camp, and Russell Wilson was the starting quarterback the rest of the fucking time. And they fucking released Matt Flynn the next year.
Brandon. What I'm telling you is that's Matt Flynn.
Whoa, but you just said nobody
That's
will pay a
Matt
quarterback
Flynn.
30. But you
That's
just
Matt
but
fucking
you
Flynn.
Rick,
That ain't
Rick,
Russell Wilson, a
hold on,
fucking
hold on. But
arguably a Hall of Famer.
hold on.
What are you talking about? Right? That's Matt
But at
fucking
that
Flynn.
time, hold on. But at that time, they didn't know Russell Wilson was gonna be that. He got drafted that fucking year,
Brandon,
third round in
what
deep
I'm
into the house.
telling you is,
But
what
that's
I'm
what I'm saying.
telling you is, what I'm telling you is,
Go ahead.
Matt Flynn ain't no fucking Hall of Famer Super Bowl
But
quarterback. What are
but
you
what I'm
talking
saying.
about right now? It's
But I
Matt
want
Flynn. Matt Flynn was a
to
fucking bum.
hold on, hold on. But what I'm saying is you're
You
not.
comparing right now. You
Hold
comparing
on, hold
Matt
on,
Flynn to Russell
hold
Wilson.
on, hold on, hold on. Russell Wilson is not married to the Giants. The Giants are not married to Russell
For this
fucking
year,
Wilson.
they're married. For this year,
Hold
they're
on,
married.
hold on. When you
Unless,
already
unless
here's
Russ
the thing.
goes out there and stinks up the place.
Hold on. You already know Russ is not getting better. He's getting older and he's not getting better. You also just paid Jameis Winston 2 years.
Okay,
So you are not fucking married to Russell fucking Wilson. You can get rid of Russell Wilson if you
Brandon.
fucking
What
want
I'm
to.
telling you is, you bought Russell Wilson in for $30 million for 1 year. That is your starter this year. Unless, unless
But you,
Russ
but
goes
you,
out there and
but here's the
stinks
thing.
up the fucking place, bro.
Who said he had to go out there and stake up the
Like
place?
he did in Denver.
Hold
Like he
on.
did in Denver.
Who said he had to go out there and stake up the place? You can see it in training camp.
Brandon.
You can see
Russell
it in
Wilson.
training
It
camp.
ain't no fucking way you pay Russell Wilson $30 million and he don't touch the field.
Well, Atlanta
Russell Wilson,
played.
your starter.
Well,
That's
well.
just like if we paid if Derek Carr said he was going this year, I don't give a fuck how good Tyler Shuck this other dude,
Oh,
you paid
yeah,
him
he
$40
playing.
million, he's your starter. Like Mickey
Oh yeah,
Loomis just said, you pay him $40
yeah,
million, he's your starter.
yeah. You're a starter. That's obvious. But at the same time, a team like the Giants, who have no fucking chance in hell,
Right then. Right.
the
Right.
Giants who have no
If you
chance in
pay
fucking.
if you play Russell, I'll bet you a steak at Outback Steakhouse. Russell Wilson is a starter. I don't give a fuck how good Jackson Dart does in
Oh no,
training camp.
but we wasn't talking about Jack Dart. We talk about Shador.
Right. You-
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. People see.
Well, look, man,
That's what I'm
listen,
saying.
man. Can we pick this up? I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I need to go lay it down. Can we pick this up?
Yeah, but all in all, man, how do you feel about the Saints draft? What's your grade on it?
C minus.
C minus.
Yes,
Damn.
yes. And we're gonna go. Maybe just name out the players real quick. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, Who's your favorite player that we? Okay, Devin Neal. I mean, pretty much
Devin Neal. I like the kid Quincy Riley. I like the
Quincy
corner we
Riley. Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Linebacker for Oklahoma.
I like Stutman, Danny Strutman. I like
Yeah,
him. Kelvin Banks is a it's not my favorite pick at night, but I think he'll be a good pick. Um, the D tackle from
Texas.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll give this I can't say this about Texas D linemen. The ones that have came in the league the last couple of years, the motherfuckers, I haven't seen a bad one. So we'll see.
Yeah,
What I don't like about we didn't address any of our offensive issues.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. We ain't get no
We took a
weapons.
7 round tight end that's probably gonna be out there blocking. He ain't gonna beat out Foster Monroe and he ain't gonna beat out Jawan Johnson.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but
Yeah,
we need a dominant tight end.
yeah,
We didn't get that big possession receiver, to be honest with you.
yeah.
And the edge we went with, we drafted him late. He probably gonna be a fucking special teamer. So, edge, wide receiver, running back, and tight end were my biggest needs, right? And
Yeah,
we didn't address those. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, the drive wasn't great. I think some people sit there and say the drive wasn't great. Some people say the drive was pretty solid. Some people say it's a mixture of what it is. What I think the Saints did
I
is
I think I think if you go with Jeff Island, Boyd, I think draft would have been 2 times better than what it turned out to be.
I think we addressed a lot of shit
So
that
hold on. Jeff Island is responsible for Marshawn Lattimore, Alvin Kamara, Trey Hendrickson. He's also responsible for Zach Bond. That man is responsible for Paulson Adebo. He loves corners. He loves drafting corners. He loves that. Sean Payton is responsible for Peyton, Marcus
Marcus
Davenport.
Davenport. Motherfucker
So
blind.
so on that note, dog, I love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again, dog. We'll do
Yeah,
this again
I
for
mean,
sure.
I do bleed black and go every damn year. So this is my third season coming into it. So yeah, definitely, man. After every
Oh,
game,
I'm talking shit right now, but my dumb ass is gonna be right in front of the TV, or I'm gonna be in the
oh yeah,
dome
I
for
know.
one of them
We
games.
we all gonna do it. We all gonna do it.
Yeah,
Just
I
keep
talk
talking.
shit, but my stupid ass gonna have a jersey on, smiling at the games, knowing we about to lose. That's just what I do, dog.
but but,
Like
that, but that, yeah, but like I'll be back.
I'm in an abusive relationship with this team. They whoop my ass every year, and I
Yeah,
still go to Thanksgiving dinner and take pictures with them. So it is what
yeah,
it is. Maybe
yeah,
I'm
but
I'm they slut because I still go support them no matter what. So it
yeah,
is what it
but
is, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. This yeah, but I'll be back at the end of this year. I got the season three of this bleed black and go in purple and go
Man,
bleed purple and go.
bring me in on the NBA playoffs too, because I got some shit to talk about the NBA too.
Oh shit. Well, I'll be doing it Tuesday, so I'll be I bleed sports Tuesday, so
Let me come in about 15 minutes to talk my shit.
yeah. I'll probably bring you on for that and the boxing because boxing got a card this Saturday. Ryan
Oh, definitely
Garcia,
bring me on for the boxing
Kevin.
card, please,
Yeah, so
please.
I got you this Tuesday. I got you this Tuesday. I'm hit
All
you.
right, bring me on for the boxing for sure.
I
All right, all
got you
right,
this
B.
Tuesday. All
All
right,
right,
Rick.
dog.
All right, love you, boy.
Love you too, B. All
All
right.
right. Yeah. Oh no, man. The Saints draft to me was cool. I don't really think anything of it. I think it was a cool draft. It wasn't super over the top. I think we got some addressed needs. I think people got a little bit too over the top with the quarterback situation. I mean, the 40th pick. I didn't think we should have took a quarterback in the top 2 rounds. I just didn't see it. I didn't understand why we took one. I think we just panicked and took a quarterback because Derek Carr got hurt. I didn't like it. Uh, but like I said, I had Tyler Shuck as literally the 14 quarterback on my mock draft when I did it with my brother Juan. Uh, so yeah, I mean the draft wasn't bad. I think that people are going to overstate it because of who we took the first two picks. And I think the first two picks is what people more so pay attention to. But if you looked at last year's draft, we drafted Fuaga at tackle, and then we drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, the drafts are the drafts. I mean, we can't. That's the thing about it. We're drafted potential, and we don't know really what all of these people are going to be until they get on the fucking football field. And that's my thing. That's why I don't really hold too much judgment on the draft because at the end of the day, I don't know what it's going to be like. Kellen Moore is the new head coach, and I'm pretty sure with his first draft he's ever done, I'm pretty sure he took a lot of the guys that he probably would want to build around and see what he can do with those guys. So the Saints are the Saints. I really can't pretty much put too much stock into it. But like I said, I'll be back Tuesday. But I bleed sports. Bleed black and gold will be back once the season start up. I'm gonna do my predictions for the season schedule coming soon. I mean the schedule comes out literally in what, 2 weeks. So I'll probably be back to do my bleed black and gold predictions on that. LSU is coming up too. My bleed purple and gold podcast for LSU football. That's coming up soon. I talk about that. Of course, we start against Clemson this upcoming season. But yeah, I mean, this draft for the Saints was interesting. I would say that it's pretty freaking interesting. I know we got off topic talking about the Saints, good, but definitely, man. There's some picks that I like and some picks that would be like some. Let's see how this looks before I really give it a full understanding of it all. But yeah, I like it. But that's it. That's it for the show. I'll be back, like I said, this Tuesday with I Believe Sports. I talk about more. I talk about more of the Shador Sanders situation, particularly for me, my point of view. I did talk about it a little bit, but talk about a little bit more from my point of view. Um, what else I'm talking about? I believe sports. I give out my draft grades, who I thought had a pretty good draft and everything like that. NBA playoffs, of course. Today I'm watching the Pacers and the Bucks right now. Dame got hurt again. I think Dame is out right now. I don't know really what the injury was, but the Bucks are struggling right now. Could be going down 3-1 in that series. The Lakers lost today, so I'll talk about that. The Knicks are up 3-1, which is a very controversial way how they got to 3-1, but they're up 3-1. Boston won today. They're up 3-1. OKC is already the first team advanced to the next round. The series that I kind of thought would go 7 games feel like they might be going 7 games. The Rockets, Warriors, and the Nuggets, Clippers. Um, Eastern Conference, like I said, not really that surprised that a lot of these teams are starting to kind of like get bounced in the East. Not too many teams I felt like we could give a lot of teams fights in the East. In the two series that I thought would go 7, probably going 7. Like I said, boxing is back this Saturday. I talk about that card. This upcoming Saturday, I got wrestling life this week. I'll probably do a deep dive on Dwayne the Rock Johnson and how I feel about that a little bit more. Um, and I'm continuously doing my Life of Times music with the '90s. So '90s R&B artists. So just the top 10 list of my '90s R&B artists. So uh, yeah. But until then, that is the week to come. Thank you to my brother one more time, brother Rickey. Love him to death. You got a chance to see my nieces. um, and yeah, but that is it for Bleed Black and Gold. I hope you guys enjoy this. I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.